Alright people, it's been a while since I've done a video. Been busy with my job and stuff. But I'm going to show you how to make a Hana or Hana, whatever you want to call it. It's basically that Japanese wave on the blade. There's a knife that I forged out. I didn't show you the process because I didn't make so many knives forging out. I might do a video of me starting everything. Forging, hammering, filing, sanding, trying to do everything really short. Try to do everything in less than a 30-minute video so everybody can kind of understand how to do the whole process. But that'll be in the future. Alright, first step, after forging out your knife, sand it down, kind of smooth it out. Alright, next step is to get you some materials. I got all this from a river by my house. It's sand. It got a few little rocks in it, but I gotta put that through a little screen and get the rocks out. But most you want is pure sand. Clay. Clay is very sticky. It's clay is always by the river, at least mine is anyway. And choco dust. You want about 80% sand with about 2% choco and what, 18% clay. Mainly you want 80% sand so when the fire hits it, they don't crack. If it's cracking and falling off your sword or knife, whatever you're doing, you got too much clay. So you put about 80% sand. If anybody knows anything about cob ovens and houses and stuff, the mixture is always about 80% sand, and that keeps it from cracking and breaking whenever you put the heat to it. So about 80% sand, 18% clay. Clay is very sticky. It's a dirt that's very, very sticky. And chocolate, about anything between 1-2%. You can go up to 5%. It don't really matter. Whenever you make your mixture, it's going to either be gray or black, depending on how much chocolate you put into it. But it's up to you. There's really no specific right way or wrong way. You can put as much chocolate as you want, I guess. As long as you have about 80% sand in it, it shouldn't fall apart when you put the heat to it. Alright, so when you put I'm mix this all up into a little piece and coat my little knife, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, got the little pasty stuff. Just pasting it on there. Basically this and then a block of it. When you put that chocolate in there, it makes it kind of gray. And everywhere you put it, where it's going to be soft. Because it cools off really, really slowly. And this part is going to be exposed. It's going to cool off really, really fast, so it makes it hard. And also the thickness makes a difference. If you make it really thick, it cools off slower, so the metal will be even softer. You make it thin, and really, truthfully, with short knives like this, you don't have to do this. Just something to show y'all. It'll be a while before I do another sword. It takes so much time to do one. I just ain't got that much time no more. And also, when you're doing swords, you can make like a watery down version of this stuff and coat the whole blade itself, even this part. That way that'll keep it from warping. Dip the whole knife into like a watery solution of this stuff. But you can do it like this too, it don't matter. There's no right or wrong way. It's all this experimentations. And you can heat treat it in water or oil. I find if you're doing like a sword, oil is better. It's a little bit more forgiving. when we're doing small, thick knives, water's better. When you do with oil, kind of gives you a little insulation and keeps the blades from warping and cracking and breaking and all kinds of other stuff. When you do water, it's either gonna be good, or it's gonna explode, one of the two. I'm just gonna coat the whole handle and everything. Try to make it the same thickness all around. Don't make it too thick on one side, or I'll build up in this. This might take a long time to cure. It might take a day. It might take a couple hours. I don't know. I've done it 3 or 4 times with this mixture, and sometimes it cured in a couple hours. I could put it in the forge. The other times it stayed moist for 3 or 4 days. I guess it all depends on the weather, the humidity, and alright, I'm just got some water. I'm just taking some water and kind of just smoothing out all the rough edges. A little water on my finger and just trying to smooth everything out. Alright, and I'm gonna let this dry for however long it takes. Like I say, it might take a day. Might take an hour, I don't know. Whenever it's done drying, I'll put it in the fire. Alright, I got the knife, the clay finally dried. It could dry a little longer because it's a little moist, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the fire. And just be careful with it, it shouldn't break off. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my forge. Heat it up so the whole thing's about a bright, say about a bright orange door or something like that. We'll see as it goes along. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in the fire and show you about what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause you. I got them in the fire right now. It's gonna slowly heat it up. I got a lot of moisture. It rained in my forge, so that's all that steam you see coming off of it. I don't want to get it too hot too fast. So slowly heat them up until it gets, well, you'll see when I don't know what colors will come out in the camera, but it should be like a bright red, a dull orange, something like that. It's slowly heating up a little bit. We can grab and kind of move them around. Make sure everything gets heated up. I'm gonna take out and kind of show it to you, but it's not ready right now. See, it's heating up. It's kind of hard to see between the fire and the blade because it all heats up to an orange color. I'm gonna go ahead and heat them up. Everything's got a consistent color. I'm going to dunk them in some water. Since the blade is short and kind of fat, water will be good. If the blade's thin and long, then oil oil is a better choice because it kind of insulates and keeps it from warping. And I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up by the water so you can see what's going on. Oh yeah. Kind of strange. When you dunk in the water, you can just feel if it's gonna be good or bad. When it's good, you can tell it's good, but when it's bad, you can kind of feel it like when it's cooling. You can feel it. It's like kind of hitting a baseball with a bat. You can feel it tink, 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 and you feel the little tinkings. Usually, it's little bends or cracks coming out in the blade. But if it's like a solid sizzle, the blade came out good. All right, it's been like a week or two since last time I was fooling with my knife. I had to go to work and got lost. So here's the knife. I think I heat treated it in some water. I have to probably play the video back. Alright. It's still kind of dirty, full of clay and stuff. Next step is kind of something that I'm the only one that I know of that does this. But everybody who heat treats metal, so you gotta heat treat it again to soften it up, and the metal's too hard, it's gonna break. But when you're fooling with metal, if you heat treat it a few degrees cooler than normal, then you don't have to heat treat because your metal probably got hard enough, but it's still soft. So basically, I just test it out myself and see if it needs to be heat treated again. Especially when you got metal that you don't know what you're fooling with, because most blacksmiths go to the junkyard and get metal. But basically, almost got myself. But basically, I'm taking a file to it and seeing if I can cut into it. And if I can't cut into it, then it's way too hard. But if I can't cut into it, then it's pretty soft enough for a little knife. Now if it's a sword, that's a little trickier. You gotta know what you're doing with a sword. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, it's biting into it, it's hard. I can tell it's hard just from the file hitting it. But it's pretty soft too, and it looks like it's kind of flexible. It's flexible. Oh yeah. I don't know if that camera can hear it, but it sounds like a guitar. I'm able to bend it about a ½ inch or so. So since it's flexible and hard, I ain't got to heat treat it again. And that's my opinion. Everybody read these books and says you gotta heat treat it at 400 degrees after you do at 1500 degrees, but let the metal tell you what it wants to do. Yeah, even this side is hard too. Sometimes you might find spots that's hard and some spots that's soft, so go over the whole blade. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to heat treat it again. Now, if the metal is really, really hard, I'll put it back in the forge and heat it up to 400 degrees, 500 degrees. And the way to do that is, well, I'll have to do a whole other video on that anyway, because it's hard to tell temperature because it doesn't have no color at that 400 degrees. Maybe when it's pitch black, it's like a dull red, but it has to be like pitch black, midnight, everywhere around you. But I have another little technique that tells me the temperature without having any kind of temperature gauges. I pour a little something on that, that flour, and when the flour catches on fire, and that tells me it's about 400 degrees. A little trick right there. Gotta have a blacksmith book from the 1800s. Alright, well, I'm not heat treating this again. I'm gonna clean the blade up. I'm gonna show you how to polish a blade by hand. Something I didn't show it before because it takes so long. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Since the blade is short, it probably take me about 45 minutes to do. So I'm gonna change the angle of the camera and show you how I'm gonna polish a blade. Alright. I got a little tool that you can put sandpaper on and it locks it in place. And the way you sand things to a mirror finish by hand is start with a rough grit. This is a 60 grit, I believe. You make long strokes. And you keep reducing the grit. See, like next one's gonna be probably about This is 60, next one will be probably 80, so forth, and keep on going up. And every time you go ahead and do it, you change the angles. Like I'm going straight up and down. Next time I'm gonna do like a different kind of angle, like a little 45 or something. That way you can see your scratches and you can buff out the scratches when you change your angles up. Well, that didn't take long, huh? Do that on the other side. Kind of changing my block at an angle here. I can already see the Honda coming out on it already. Just had 150 grit. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up. That was bad about these cameras, they don't really see nothing. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up. Not right now anyway, it'll pick it up after I'm done. I think for camera's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and go through all the grits, and I might save like the second to last grit, then the last grit to show you. Alright, I think I'm at like 400 right now, 400 grit. I'm gonna go all the way to about 1500. Yeah, I think I went like this, and I'm gonna go long ways again. Flush it. More of the Hana I see, or Hana, whatever you want to call it. It's slowly but surely appearing. Almost pooped myself and rubbing my hand. I felt my hand hit the top of that point right here. Gotta be careful. Go ahead and turn the camera off before you catch me sticking myself. Alright, I think I'm on 500 grit right now. And you already see how shiny it's getting. It always kind of amazes me how you can make things to a mirror finish by hand. Back in the old days, Japanese would use sand, different kind of grits of sand, and they would take sand and rub it down with like a piece of chunk of sand, right? Like it's probably wet. And take a piece of leather and move it like that, and that's how they made the sandpaper. For people who was wondering how they did it in the past without sandpaper, they had sand. They used a wet sand and they took a chunk of leather and moved it up and down by hand, like what I'm doing right now. And different kind of stones and I already got a mirror reflection in it. Whew, wait a moment, I'm out. I'm getting too old for this. I got arthritis in my hands, my shoulders, my wrist. This handwork stuff is taking its toll on me. Now granted, you can get a melt sander and all that, but I like to do things by hand. I don't know. I can control the quality of work, I guess. Something I've been doing my whole life, so okay to stop now. And to me, it does make a better quality of work. You can control the quality of work. And when you're fooling with grinders and belt sanders, you can cut a little dip in it. And you always buff the dip out and nobody's really gonna notice it. But you can still get a dip in it. Like this, you don't have any dips or nothing. Go ahead and show you. You already kind of see the Honda starting to appear through it. And for you can kind of barely see it when the light hits it just a certain way. You can see a little bit, a little wave right there. And if this was like a normal knife, this would probably be good enough to shorten it like it is right here. You can just go ahead and, so it's got a good finish to it. But in order for the Honda to appear, you gotta put a mirror finish. So like I said, I'm gonna go up to about 1500 on the grit. Alright, I'm on my last one. I'm like at a 1500 right now, my sandpaper. Ah, dug it. You got me. I knew it would. And y'all caught it on camera. And I barely touched it. This razor's sharp right now. I got one that I made earlier. Let me back to the zoom off. Let me show you. That's what happens when you heat it up too hot. Stick it in the water. Everything blew up. And also, you don't know what kind of metal you're fooling with either. When you order metal, then you know what you're doing. You know what to expect. Then we'll go ahead and polish it up. Show you like the last. The last part where it's got a mirror finish. And I think I want to show a picture of it, what it looks like after it's all said and done. I'm not going to go through the whole steps of showing how to make the handle and all of that. Alright, I did a lot of filing and polishing. Now I got some metal cleaner. I don't know. They all work pretty much the same stuff. It's all made of the same stuff. It's just some kind of multi-metal cleaner that you can get at the store. It cleans chrome and polishes chrome, steel, brass, copper, all that. Multi. This is basically pure ammonia. Yeah. One time I stuck this stuff on a knife and it was still hot. And then turned this stuff into a vapor. Holy. I breathed it in. I still got a sore throat from that. It was about 3-4 days ago. Alright, once I clean this all off, I'm gonna let it sit there for a little while. But once I clean it off, it's gonna get all that dust off. Cause you know you do a lot of filing, all that metal dust builds up on it, and it should reveal the Hamon. Typically, you don't use this on. You don't put Hamons on knives. That scrap stinks. But just to show you how to do it, and once you practice on knives, and once you get good with it. Do a dagger, and once you do a dagger, then do a sword. It's not that hard. It just takes practice. There's no books or videos out there that can really tell you how to do it. You just gotta do it. It takes time and money and everything else. We'll clamp this bad boy down. Like everything else, nobody has time and nobody has money, so all these things are dying off. This is an all-purpose cleaner. It's some kind of like Windex or something. I don't know what this is, really, to be honest with you. This is an all-purpose cleaner. It's just to clean the, some kind of soapy detergent on it, just to clean it up. And that's the Hamon. This is a little darker because the fire hit it wide open. I should have brought the Hamon all the way down to this part. I don't know why I curved it all out with the clay. I usually don't do that. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I broke a knife before, or a saw before right there. That's why I did that. Made this a little softer. I'm gonna probably polish it up with some kind of piece of leather or something. I got a leather block. A wood block with some leather on it. And I might polish it up and get a razor edge on it. Then put a handle on it. I'm gonna show you the final product, what it looks like. And that's how you do a Hamon.